guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. To celebrate the release of the Killer Klowns video game, which I do not play at this moment in time, I've decided to rewatch, or it's made me want to rewatch the Killer Klowns from Outer Space from 1988. So if you haven't seen the movie, guys, and you don't like spoilers, then don't watch this video because there will be spoilers. But if you don't mind spoilers, or if you have seen the movie, then continue watching. First off, this is a film where you definitely 100% need to leave your brain at the door. If you get into this movie thinking it's going to be some sort of thought-provoking horror movie, then you will be deadly wrong. It's just one of these fun, cheesy horror movies from the late 80s, and if you go into it knowing that, then I don't think you'll be disappointed. I don't know how well the movie was perceived back in 1988 because I wasn't old enough to see it at the time, but I think over the years it's gained popularity and it's got to a point where it's at cult status now, and it is quite rare for a film like this to be a one-off and have a cult following. You do get some single movie cult followings, but it's usually films within a franchise that gets it. And I don't know what the thing about Killer Klowns was that made people come back to it over and over again. It could be that it is this wacky horror film. It could be any number of things, but the fact remains that over 36 years now, this movie has a massive cult following. When you look at the synopsis of the film, it sounds ridiculous as well. These aliens come down to Earth and they just so happen to look like clowns. We don't know if they're dressed like clowns or they are clowns from a clown planet, and they land on Earth and they just try and take the people of this little small town, and by doing that they put them into these candy, but they're cocoons on their planet. They take them onto their ship that also looks like a circus tent, and we don't know if they were trying to get away to begin with or they had to escape because we found out how to kill them. The people of this little small town mistake the ship for a little comet that landed down on their planet, and obviously, like I said, it's a tent that they disguise their ship as. And we follow these two characters, Mike and Debbie, who go and explore to find out where this comet landed. And when they find out it looks like a tent, they go into the tent to explore the tent. We also focus on Dave, one of the officers in the town. He's quite a young looking officer. And we also find out that he used to date Debbie. So we know there's going to be a bit of conflict between Dave and Mike. When it comes to the acting in the movie, the acting isn't actually bad. It's just very corny. The dialogue and the script is obviously not very good. But the actors look like they're having a good time, and they also look like they're trying their best. So when you see films from back in the late 80s that have got bad dialogue and have a bad script, they're just downright bad. Sometimes the acting is atrocious, which is usually the case. But with this one, it's quite different because the acting isn't bad. The acting's actually pretty good at times. The score, the soundtrack, the set design is what sets this movie apart from other movies of its era. The score is fantastic. They've got a song for the film as well, which you always sing straight after the movie. But the set design for me and the costume design is the best part about the movie. When you look at the costumes, they're very iconic now, probably another reason why it's got cult status. But the set design as well, the look of the tent is great. The look of the inside of the tent, the cocoons that are disguised as candy, all the little buttons and little things that you see around this spaceship is fantastic. It looks cheap and nasty today, but when you watched it for the first time back in the early 90s, from when I first seen it, when you look at them, you're like, this is so great, so intricate. It reminds me of maybe Child's Play 2, very colourful and great. I think it was ahead of its time because films that came out back then didn't really have the little detail, the minute detail that they went through in Killer Klowns, and I think that's something that they had to do. They knew they didn't have the script, but what they did have was dedication to make it look as best as they could. Everything out with the unbelievable moments in the film were also unbelievable. The parts that were supposed to be the grounded, believable parts. For example, we've got Officer Mooney, who has all these reports come into the police station to say people are getting killed, there's these people dressed up as clowns, and he doesn't believe any of them. I can understand maybe he won't believe one or two pranks, but the whole town starts to phone this police station and he's like, nope, don't believe you, nope, don't believe you. And you're like, that's unbelievable. With most films and most villains, they do have a weakness, and in this one, the weakness was to shoot their clown nose, or as we assume is a clown nose. We don't know if it's a clown or not, but yeah, the way to kill them is to shoot the clown nose, and I didn't see the ending coming where this giant clown comes down through the ceiling of the tent of the ship, of course, and all the other clowns move out the way so that this big giant clown can kill the people of this town. But unfortunately for this massive clown, Dave had other ideas, and he managed to the nose of the big clown. So the big clown has the same weakness as the little small ones, the standard size clowns, and they end up just bursting into flames in the sky, and that's how you can defeat, or that's how they did defeat the clowns at the end. There was a really nice and funny moment where Mike, Debbie, and Dave all survived, and they all gave each other a cuddle, and they could all live happily ever after together. Why did these aliens resemble clowns? Don't know, and I think that's the great part about it. We don't know anything about these clowns. It left it open for a sequel that we never got, which we could eventually get, maybe with the success of the game, but they don't explain anything. All they explain is these aliens dressed as clowns, or that looked like clowns, came down to Earth to try and take over, and then they failed. I remember this movie being a lot scarier when I was younger. It probably did scare me when I was younger, the whole clowns thing with Pennywise and stuff. I watched it around that era, so it genuinely scared me at the time. Watching it now, it's just goofy fun. There's nothing scary about it. And in fact, there was an Arrow release that I've got that was a 12 in the UK. So for you guys, that would be a PG-13. So it's not a scary film. You could probably watch it with your kids. There's nothing in it that I would suggest maybe don't show your kids it. It's that tame. So yes, it scared me back when I was a kid, but today, like I said, it's just some goofy fun. At the end of the day, guys, I am amazed that this stood the test of time, because films like this just get laughed at today, but with the massive cult following that it's got, I think a lot of people appreciate what this movie done back in the day, and I appreciate it as well, because I love this film and I still love it today. Even when I watched it earlier on, I'm like, I still love this movie. It's corny, but I still love it, and it just goes to show that it does stand the test of time because it's got that new game out. So hopefully the game is successful. Maybe we'll get a new generation of fans loving the original movie, and who knows, maybe we'll get a sequel. So what are your thoughts on Killer Klowns, guys, and do you play the game? As always, leave your comments down below, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.
Meeting adjourned.
I'll be right back.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Ever played in the cat?
Someone's in the back seat!